Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Jackie Fish and welcome back to some Mountain Blade to Bannerlord. And today we're going to be taking a look at a pretty goddamn special mod that I've been following in development for quite a while. It's a mod that I think a lot of people are looking forward to, and that is the co-op mod. So you guys may have seen Bannerlord Online roaming around. This is the MMO Bannerlord that allows you to play on the campaign map of Bannerlord with about 2,000 players. However, this mod, what it aims to do, is completely made by a completely different development team, and they've been working very hard on it for, a lot of weeks now, and what they're planning on trying to achieve is the single player experience where there's just you, maybe one other person, or at least one other person on the campaign map with the entirety array of the single player campaign. So you're going to have all the AI factions fighting one another, joining battles, and all the AI lords, missions, quests, all that stuff, both players being able to join separate kingdoms and fighting against and with one another. So that's what they're really trying to do. So basically more of a multiplayer campaign experience rather than Bannerlord Online with its like MMO feel to it, which is very exciting. I think a lot of people really do want something like this. I always get questions, if this is a thing, and I thought I'd make a video today to let you guys know that it is. It's still very much in development. I'll leave a link to it down below in the description if you want to check out their Discord. They post weekly updates there, but obviously I will go ahead and make sure to let you guys know as soon as this is getting closer to release. I will go ahead and follow up on it and let you guys know exactly what there is. So what we'll do today is I'll go ahead and take a look at some of the gameplay that they recently posted over on their Discord, showing how their kind of system is working, how they're going to be able to, get the player and the servers to work with one another. Obviously, when someone's in battle, how is that going to affect the campaign map and all the AI roaming around. There's plenty of other things that they need to go ahead and take into account that mods like Bannerlord Online don't have to worry about, because there's no AI on the campaign map. It's just all players. So it's a lot more kind of, I guess, simple. It's not simple, but it's a lot more direct than say this, when there's so many AIs, so there's so many different variables. But anyway, let's go ahead and dive into that gameplay now. We'll take a look at that, and then we'll dive into their Q&As to find out some more information about the mod. Okay, so we are now taking a quick look at what they've got currently over on their YouTube channel. This is going to be showing the main server that's going to be taking all the data from the first and second client and importing it into the actual game itself, so that both players will see this on the server side. And a lot of people never knew that this was even possible. Bannerlord themselves, or Tailworlds themselves, the people who make Bannerlord, said that this is not something that they'll be looking to do. I imagine it is a ton of work, but it's great to see modders going out of their way to create something like this, because this is something that I think a lot of people have really wanted to see. And at the moment you are seeing still early stages of this, and you obviously will be getting more faster transitioning, and stuff will be happening a lot quicker when the mod actually does finally get released. But right now what you can see is both the players actually loading into the server itself. Both players have loaded in, and now the players are going to be jumping into that. You'll then be able to see the players move around, and as I said earlier on in the intro, this is going to be a very interesting kind of a way to approach it, because unlike Bannerlord Online, there's a ton of AI factions, there's, maybe like 50, 60, 70 armies roaming around the battlefield, and then what happens if one player joins a battle and another player doesn't join a battle? Obviously the campaign map will continue on, but then what happens when AI turn up and join, and how do the AI kind of handle that? So the task they've gone ahead and got for themselves is going to be very difficult, honestly. There is a ton of work left to do, I imagine. I'm just really trying to figure out how a lot of this stuff will work. But they have stated over on their Discord, and I will go through all the Q&As after this video, but they have said how they do want both players to be able to create their own custom kingdoms, which is very exciting. So, you can go to one side of a map, and then your friend can go to the other side of the map, and you can both kind of just meet in the middle with your two huge empires and fight it out, which, yeah, again, is really cool. You can obviously both join up and fight in the same forces. I believe they've said that they want you to be able to both be in the same army as well, which is pretty cool, so you can roam around. And you can obviously see on the campaign map, both armies are moving around pretty successfully, honestly. You can see in the server as well how it's transmitting back to the client-based stuff, and as they move, it's moving pretty successfully, which is, yeah, pretty cool. right now. So it'll be very interesting to see, how everything does kind of function as they get further and further through. Are we going to be able to see, kind of synced up quests and stuff? That'd be very cool, having the ability to like both of you go on the same quest. I think as well, they have also said that it would be interesting if it was possible for you to become a companion in your friend's army as well. Kind of like how you could back in the Warband days, where you'd be able to join up as like a soldier, and then you'd be outfitted with that equipment and stuff. That'd be pretty goddamn cool. So now we've taken a look at that, let's go ahead and jump into their Q&A, and we'll run through all the interesting questions that they've gone ahead and answered on there. Okay, so now let's take a look at some of the questions that they are answering on their Discord itself. Again, as I said, link will be down below in the description, so you guys can go ahead and check it out. But yeah, so some of these questions were asked a while ago, almost a year ago now, or maybe like nine months ago. So some will maybe be a little bit outdated and improved, and others, will still very much be the case. So the first, frequently asked question is, what is the Bannerlord Co-op mod? Bannerlord Co-op is a mod that is currently in development. This will allow you to play the campaign with your friends. They say friends with an S on the end, so I assume that eventually they would want to kind of open this up to multiple people. It'd be extremely cool if they could make it so that, there's enough players for each of the kingdoms, and you could have like one person starting in each of the kingdoms, rising up to power. That'd be very cool, and eventually meeting in the middle for just one big throwdown. You could also then get some really cool, like, battles going on and alliances, and you could really take away the poor diplomacy system in Bannerlord with your own little kind of like Friday night D&D kind of club style thing. That'd be very, very cool. The next question is, one of the major problems with the Bannerlord Co-op campaign mod is how battles/scenes will work. Will this mod bypass that by having all the players in one party, or is there some other way to solve this? And obviously this is a pretty important question. This is really like kind of like the foundations of the mod. And they say in this, the current version of the mod is to have separate parties. With this comes the issues of the world map timing whilst in battle. There are also multiple solutions to this. Our solution is just to simply slow down or limit the time on the world map. And then go ahead and talk about some of the suggestions that other people went ahead and mentioned, but for the most part, this is kind of their idea going forward. I think that is, a really good idea. I'm sure there are ways to work around it, and I think the actual gameplay that is offered by having people in separate parties is going to just make it, outweigh the negatives of maybe playing a little bit slower while someone's in battle. As well as that, a very important thing to kind of keep in note is that you're very rarely going to be playing with someone you don't know. So again, you can kind of just have fun, you can join them in battles, and you can just mess around with your friends. If your friends are in battle, it's a lot less, aggravating, moving slowly on the campaign map whilst some strangers doing it. So I think, the fact that you're going to be playing with your friends pretty much 95% of the time with this mod, I don't think it's really an issue if you're a bit slower whilst your friend's fighting a battle. As well as that, in the early game, you can just go around together and both join the same battles and stuff to kind of get around that, which I think is a really good idea. The next question is a little bit of a supported one off the previous one. They say, will everyone be in a single party, or can everyone control their own? And they state that everyone will have a separate party. Separate parties will have more game mechanics, allowing for more fun gameplay. We will probably add a single player game mode in the future. So they're talking about maybe having two versions, that if people do just want to be a part of one faction, like kind of like a main leader and a companion, they can do that. But their main goal is to go ahead and keep separate parties, as we were just saying. I think it's a great idea, a real good way forward. The next question is, will it support mods? They say this will only be compatible with native version 1 for the time being. I mean, that completely makes sense. There's no reason saying, yeah, we're going to have this for Kingdom of Arada and the Star Wars mod and all the medieval mods. At the moment, they are just simply trying their best to go ahead and get a working version for vanilla. Does this mean that it's going to be compatible with mods at some point? I think there's a very good chance of that happening, but for now, their main focus is simply just to try and get a good working version for the main vanilla version of the mod. The next mini question is, does this mod have any kind of release date? At the moment, they say that it's just too early to say. Again, this was, several months ago now, about 5 months ago, this question. However, obviously, they are still working very hard, and maybe we'll get a little bit of an insight later on down the line. The next question we get answered is, will players be able to make separate kingdoms and do PvP? The simple answer to this is yes, each player can found their own kingdom and fight each other, which again is so exciting. I'm really glad they went down this route, basically giving you that single player experience with another person. I can't wait to maybe do a campaign with Pixelated Apollo. I think that would be so fun, both of us starting in different regions and rising to the top, or maybe in the early game we fight together and then we go our own separate ways a little bit later on down the line. I think that would be so fun, and I think a lot of people will be enjoying that. Again, they also say each player, as in there could be multiple in that. I don't think they've stated that there is a limit to what they've said. I think at the beginning it probably will just be getting 2 people to work together functionally. But again, who knows what this number could go up to. Bannerlord Online has shown that the game is capable of hosting a ton of people on the campaign map. It's just obviously with the AI kind of being there as well with this mod, things get a lot more complicated in that kind of direction of, what happens, all the different variables with the AI, but still very exciting stuff. Another question we go ahead and get answered is what will happen with the campaign? What about the other quests? So basically the main story. The developers say that the main quest will be disabled for this mod, which is great because we've actually recently got the sandbox mode from Tailworlds themselves, which go ahead and do this, so hopefully the modders can utilize that. They also go ahead and state that all quests will actually be disabled for the first launch of this mod. I think that's a bad idea. Obviously just kind of getting the foundations down is really important, and then kind of maybe adding in custom quests and stuff like that later would be pretty goddamn cool. The final question we get given in their frequently asked questions is, how will multiplayer work? Will there be dedicated servers, or is it peer-to-peer? Go ahead and then state that it will be client-based at the beginning, with dedicated servers and peer-to-peer being planned in the future. So that's basically all the information we have right now on the Bannerlord co-op mod. I highly recommend you go ahead and join their Discord. This is a mod that I think a lot of people are just really excited for. Me personally, I cannot wait to see what they go ahead and do. And as you can see, they have been working extremely hard on getting this mod up and operational for everybody. So definitely go show them some love and support, because, the modding community has been knocking it out of the park recently with all these amazing modifications and work in progress stuff. I cannot wait for the future of Bannerlord. So if you guys are enjoying these type of videos, make sure you do go ahead and drop a like and a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.